Students, good morning. In my last video, I have explained about quadratic equations, the definition of quadratic equation, and how to show that a given number is a root of a quadratic equation. So these two things we have seen in my last video, right? And today let's see how to solve a quadratic equation. So what are the methods of solving a quadratic equations are there? Now we are going to see that. Okay. Methods of solving a quadratic equation. Already something you have studied in lower classes also. Factorization using identity. How to factorize a quadratic equation using identity, as well as how to apply sum product rule to factorize a given quadratic equation. Actually, there are four methods of solving a quadratic equation. The first one I have given here, factorization using identity. Second one, factorize using sum product rule. Third one, factorize using quadratic formula. And the last one, completing the square. So the first one, factorization using identity. So what identity we can use to factorize a quadratic equation? It's very important. Quadratic in the equation, in the sense the highest power is 2. So based on the power, we have three identities mainly. That first one, a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a plus b the whole square. Second one, a square minus 2ab plus b square is equal to a minus b the whole square. Third one, a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So these three identities we can use to solve or factorize a quadratic equation. So the first question will arrive. So how or when I can apply this identity to factorize a given equation? That one thing you have to notice in the problem, because already I told you that a quadratic equation, the general form of the quadratic equation, it has three terms. That is a general form, right? Ax square bx plus c is equal to 0. So if you are using that first two identity, the question must be in three terms. And the second thing you have to notice that the first term and the last term must be in perfect square. So if it is perfect square and the middle term, if you have plus symbol, you can use the first identity. Or else both the first and the last term, it is given perfect square, and the middle term, if you have minus symbol, you can use the second identity. Then how can I apply the third identity? Look at the third identity. The LHS side, what we have? A square minus b square. So how many terms are there? Only two terms, right? So when you can apply this third identity to factorize the given equation now, the question must be there in two terms, and that also should be a perfect square. So the two terms, it should be a perfect square. Now we can use the third identity to factorize a given quadratic equation. So a given equation satisfying these rules, you can apply factorization using identity. Then what is the second method I have given here? Factorization using sum product rule, and this also already you have studied. It's nothing but that another name of the sum product rule is called as splitting the middle term, right? We want to split the middle term to finding the factors, to change into linear factor. From that we can find the factors of the quadratic equation. So splitting the middle term, the procedures, some steps we have to follow to finding the answer. The first step, here also it's very must. You have to notice that the given question must be in the form of general form. If the problem it is not given in the general form, first we want to convert the question in the form of general form, and then we can start doing the procedure. Okay, so sum product rule, what is the first step? We want to multiply the coefficient of x square and the constant term, which means a and c. You have to multiply that. You should consider as a product, and the middle term we have to consider as sum, which means the middle term is bx, so b you have to consider as sum. So now you have to find out the two factor which we multiply or which we add or subtraction, we are getting the product and the sum. and after you're finding the two factor, we want to splitting the middle term. After that we want to grouping the first two term and the last two term, and then we have to take out the common factor, and then again we want to take out the common factor, then you have to equating to 0, and then you can able to get the answer for x. Actually this is the procedure we have seen already, and let's see this explanation part elaborately in when we are doing the problem, so don't worry. Okay, and now I just explaining what are the steps we are applying for some product more rule. That's all. Let's see later that elaboration of the problem how to do. Okay, so this is the procedure if you are doing factorization by sum product rule. And the third one here I have given factorize by quadratic formula. So when I want to apply quadratic formula, see, once the problem it fails for sum product rule, you can apply quadratic formula. Otherwise it's no need, simply you can apply the sum product rule to find out the answer. If it fails, it is not possible to find the factors, only you can apply the quadratic formula. That is the second exercise. Let's see in my next videos. Okay, and the last one, it's a completing the square. That also another method to solving a question, that also. And further the next videos we will see how to use that procedures and all. So today I'm going to explain few problems related to using identity and sum product rule. So this question now I am going to solve. Look at this question here. 16x square is equal to 25. And the question heading is solve the following equations by factorization. So when we are factorizing, you have to change the given equation in the form of general form. Okay, so here we have only two term. So any question if they have given RHS side also some value, no, better you bring all the values LHS side, make it one side, then only it is easy to solve. So now I am going to transpose. Now I am going to transpose this 25 this side. So now plus 25 will change into, if you are transposing next side, it is minus 25 is equal to 0. And now you see here how many terms are there? Only two terms. Already I told you that we can factorize by identity also. In identity we have third identity only, it contains two terms, right? If you are applying third identity, look at both the terms, it should be a perfect square. If it is perfect square, you can apply the third identity. And what about your first term with 16x square? 16 is the perfect square, and this 16 can be written as 4 square x square. 25 also a perfect square. 25 we can write in the form of 5 square is equal to 0. And now we have 4 square and x square here. Both the one we have square. No, by exponential rule we can take this power commonly. So this can be written as 4x the whole square minus 5 square is equal to 0. And since this is in the form of a square minus b square, your LHS in the form of a square minus b square. So a square minus b square, which means what identity? That is equal to, the next side is nothing but a plus b into a minus b. So in the place of a we have 4x, and in the place of b we have 5. So just replace this a is equal to 4x and b is equal to 5 in RHS side. Okay, a plus b into a minus b. So a is equal to 4x and b is equal to 5. So 4x plus 5, and next a minus b. So 4x minus 5. 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now by this zero product rule, we can equate this product is equal to 0. No, we can equate the product, each product is equal to 0. So 4x plus 5 is equal to 0, or 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then you transpose the value next side, you can able to get the value of x transpose 5 next side. 4x is equal to minus 5, and then transpose 4 next side, and 4 it is along with x, it is in the form of multiplication. If you are transposing 4 next side, it will become division. So minus 5 by 4. So this is your x value for one linear, right? The another one, it is here 4x minus 5. Again here also do the same one. Transpose your minus 5 this side and minus 5 will become plus. So 4x is equal to 5. Then you transpose 4 this side and 4 here along with x, it is in the form of product. So it will become division 5 by 4. So one factor we have reached is minus 5 by 4 and another factor as 5 by 4. So what is the solution set? For quadratic equation, the highest power is 2, right? So we have two roots for the equation here. Therefore, the solution set is minus 5 by 4 and plus 5 by 4. Is it clear? So this is the problem I have solved by identity. So first I have transposed terms LHS side. Then we have only two terms in the sense it is only possible by solve a square minus b square if it has a perfect square for both terms. That's why I have applied that identity, and then I am equating to 0 separately. After that I have transposed 1 by 1 next side and arrive the answer for x is equal to minus 5 by 4 and plus 5 by 4. That is the solution set. At last we want to take it and write like this. So now I am going to solve the second problem. X square minus 30 x plus 216 is equal to 0. So how many terms we have? Totally 3 terms, and it is exactly in the form of general form of quadratic equation. And the first term and the last term, if it is a perfect square, you can apply the identity I said, right? And this problem I am going to use sum product rule. Already I told you that for sum product rule, the first step, we want to multiply the coefficient of x square and the constant term. So multiply these two. Here the x square constant, nothing is given, which means we should consider as 1. So 1 into 216 is 216. So what is the product? Product is equal to 216. And the middle term we have to consider as sum. The middle term we have minus 30. So sum is equal to minus 30. So now we are going to find out the two factor. So what is the product? Product we have reached 216 and the sum is minus 30. So now we want to multiply the two factor. What we are multiplying to get 216 and whether we are adding and subtracting to get minus 30. So one factor is 18, another factor is 12. When we are multiplying this 18 into 12, we can able to get 216, and we are adding 18 plus 12, it is 30. But see here we have minus 30. So which means what sign I want to take for the factor? Here it is product is positive, but here it is negative. So what I am going to take for one factor, I am going to take negative symbol. For another factor also I am going to take negative symbol. So then only I can add. Both are positive or both are negative only I can add. So it's both are negative. If you are adding these two, I can able to get the answer as minus 30. Right? Now if you are multiplying this 18 into 12, it is 216, and we are adding 18 minus 12, it is minus 30. So now we found the two factors. So just I am going to split the middle term now. So write down first what is the given equation? X square minus 30x plus 216 is equal to 0. Split the middle term. X square, one factor is minus 18x, right? One factor is minus 18x. Another factor is minus 12x plus 216 is equal to 0. And now you just grouping the first two and the next two. And what is the common factor in the first two we want to take out? Here this x square can be written as x into x. And here 18x is 18 into x. So what is common? X is common, right? So I can take x commonly outside. So the remaining x you have to write inside. Here this remaining 18 you have to write inside. Similarly, here it is 12x. So here 12 is common, and here also 18 into 12. Now we have both 12 is common, right? So So you can take 12 commonly outside. And why I have taken minus outside now? If you are taking minus outside only, you can able to get the second term as minus. If you are getting minus here now, this and this will be same. That's why I have taken minus symbol outside. So here what is the remaining? X is remaining. And once we have taken minus outside, so here inside we want to take minus symbol. Then only when we are multiplying inside this minus symbol, minus into minus plus. So now what is the remaining factor here? 18. So 18 is equal to 0. Now you see, because these two must be same, then only the next step we can take commonly outside this one. That's why we have here minus, means here also we should have minus symbol. That's why we have taken minus outside here. Okay. Now these two terms are common, right? So take this x minus 18 commonly outside. So what is remaining here? X. And here minus 12 is equal to 0. Now by this zero product rule, we want to equate both the linear pair equated to 0. So x minus 18 is equal to 0. Now we transpose minus 18, it will become plus 18. So we found one answer. Again you have to equating the next factor equal to 0. Transpose your 12 next side, minus 12, it becomes plus 12. So now therefore the solution set is 18 and 12. Is it clear? So first I have finding the product for the coefficient of x square and the constant, that you should consider as product, and the middle term next as the sum. Next you finding the two factor. When we are multiplying, we should get this product 216. When we are adding or subtracting, we should get minus 30. So according to this symbol only, we have to give the sign for these two factor. Here it is minus 30. So but we are adding to get the number. That's why for both the factor I am given minus. Okay. So here one, here also minus, and here also minus. Okay, then after that we should splitting the middle term. After splitting the middle term, one factor is 18 minus 18, another factor is minus 12. Along with x we want to write. Then you have to compare first two term and the last two term. First two term, what is the common factor we should take outside, and here also what is the common factor we should take outside. And the next step also, this one and this one is common, we have to take commonly outside. The remaining I have written here. And at last we want to equate both the linear equating to 0. So x minus 18 equal to 0. Now x is equal to 18. X minus 12 equal to 0. Now x is equal to 12. So this is the method to finding the answer by make use of identity or by the sum product rule. So just apply this and do the problems. Thank you.